Okay, so welcome to the Happy Mama Community's chat about self-care. Welcome, Mariana. Would you please tell us a little bit about yourself?
Hi, thanks for having me. Hi everyone. My name is Mariana Calleja, and I am from Costa Rica. I am a doctor. I am also a writer, and I basically teach healthy habits and anything that means not going to the doctor.
That's interesting how you became a doctor. And so what kind of doctor are you, just for everyone to know?
I am. I did my medical degree first, which is, of course, the thing that you have to do. Then I made a master's degree in pain management. So that allowed me to work many years with elderly people at nursery homes. So I did that basically in Spain as well, a little bit in Costa Rica and some in Spain. And then I chose to do, because of all the experiences I went through while working with old people, I really understood the need of prevention and the need of, I'm really all about being very caring and listening to people, and that side of things that is more, that sometimes can be easily forgotten. I don't mean just within my colleagues, but just everyone. And that made me think and realize I need to do something else. I want to do something before we get to that stage, because it was very interesting and to me to learn how people at a really advanced age think about life and the way they felt about their own life and family issues or issues, not necessarily something wrong, but like the life circumstance. So I thought, here's something more. I need to do something else before that point, right? So lots of thinking all the time, and that's how I got here.
Was there a moment specifically where something happened? Did you have a moment where you went, I absolutely need to do this? Did you have some sort of awakening or enlightenment?
Do you mean like those moments when you feel like you have this higher purpose in a way, that you realize this thing?
Yeah.
Yeah, I had this moment. It was more like a period of time of my life, and it was actually after divorce, after I decided I was married before, and I, for different reasons, it had to end. And that year, after being on my own, and just, it was, personally, it was a very good year for me. And that year was when I realized so many things about myself and about the things that I wanted to do beyond my usual career. Yeah, that I would say was the key. Of course, there were other things, but probably related in a way. And also a couple of patients that I had in my old job, really, you have this situation sometimes with certain patients, and they really get into you, and they make you think, and they make you sensitive, and they make you wonder a lot. So I had a few of those within my job. So it was interesting and great the way you can learn things like that.
Absolutely. So tell us a little bit about your idea behind the healthy habits.
Okay, so the thing about healthy habits to me, it's mostly about prevention. Everything that is about health, as a doctor myself, it's not just the body, it's the mind, it's everything. To me, health begins in the mind. That when you are with jumping, like a jumpy brain, and your thoughts are unsteady or something, you're always feeling it elsewhere in the body. So to me, that's very important. Every time someone comes to me and tells me like, I have this pain or I have this thing here, I pay attention to that, of course, but I also like to ask these other things that are related to different things that are not necessarily the body. So that's why I came to the healthy habit thing. It's more like a life philosophy, as I want to like to call it, like a mindset, like a lifestyle. It's a way of living. It's just simply feeling good. It's to feel good. So to me, healthy habits is like the way to just feel good, to live a feel good life for to say it in a way.
So you see
So
that
that's what it is for me.
right. So you see that there's a very strong connection with your emotion and whatever you're feeling as far as ailments in the body, physically, if something is breaking down in the body, you see it as that at some point, or it came originally from, something that you're not addressing here.
Yeah, and it goes both ways. I think I really believe in that, but I mean, it could happen the other way as well. Sometimes you're having this pain and you become worried and thinking, and you go on Google at 3 in the morning. Oh my God, I have cancer and stuff like that, because it happens to all of us. We've all done it for sure.
Mhm.
So yeah, it's like both ways, and also of course there's the genetic stuff, and there's the things that are biology, and we cannot deny that is definitely there. But in many ways, I really believe that our sense, like our emotional being or our emotions, they have a big influence or impact in the body. Yeah.
Okay, so let's talk about implementing these healthy habits. So what are we talking about exactly when we say healthy habits? Give us an example.
Okay, let's see. It's lots of things. It could go endless, because it's something that is very unique for each person. But say, for example, the most basic things for a human body to function, normally, like the very basic: sleep, hydration, say water, say your drinking habits. Drinking, I don't mean alcohol, I mean fluids, liquids. What kind of liquids? And then physical activity. I don't like to say exercise because that's so boring. I like to say physical activity, because it could be just 10 minutes of a few series for your legs, because you usually have a pain in your knee. So maybe you can do 10 minutes of this exercise that strengthen your thighs, or so these three things: sleep, hydration, and physical activity, is to me the one thing that I ask everyone in the first place. So those are like the healthy habits to begin with, and from there we could say so many more things, like me time. How many times in a week or in a month or in a day, depends on whom, right? Do you spend time, like quality time with yourself? How many times in a month do you take a bath, like really a bath on your own? Or do you sit down and read that book? Or do you, if you enjoy having a cup of tea or a piece of cake, like a really nice piece of cake, do you sit down regularly to enjoy that one bite? It's like, seriously, 2 minutes of a day to just sit down and have that coffee for yourself or with someone. It doesn't have to be on your own, but it's these quality little times. Do I explain myself? Yeah.
Yeah,
That's what
no,
I mean with healthy
that's great.
habits.
I'll definitely say that of the three top ones that you mentioned, which was sleep, I need to work on that one. Drinking water. I have my water here with me. See,
Okay.
that I've been trying to, incorporate into my life. And what was the third one?
Physical activity.
Physical activity. Oh yes, I avoid saying exercise too. I usually call it just movement, and I'm like, just have some movement in the day. It's something that I always try to
Exactly.
incorporate, especially with the moms. It's easy to have movement as a mom, especially if you just get up and have a dance party with your kids. It doesn't have to be, like going outside and going for a run or going to the gym. If you just take a minute in your day and do a little dance party, there's some movement that you can incorporate. So I'm with you.
Yeah.
But let's talk a little bit about the importance of sleep. Can you speak to us a little bit about that?
Okay.
Because
Yeah.
I
Well,
know it's something I
this is
definitely need to work on, and I know it's other moms too.
okay. Okay. Yeah, it's very interesting, very interesting, because you see, sleep is like the reset that the body needs in order to process everything that happens through the day. So all that information, all those memories, all those feelings, all those bad moments, everything, it's all the things will go into your library here, right? Like in the brain's library. So everything will be stored through the night. So the next day you can start fresh again into, living all these new things that will need to be stored again in the night. So sleep is essential because it's the one thing that will allow you to continue without feeling tired, exhausted, washed down. Is the thing, the process. I mean, that's in a very, very general sense, explaining it in very, very easy, simple words. But then there's, like the chemical and the biochemical things that happen internally that are a lot about healing or regeneration of cells, or so many processes that happen inside. But basically speaking is that, I mean, if we don't sleep properly, the amount of hours that we individually need, me for example, I need like 8 hours, and if I've been having a tiring day, I need 10 hours, and unless I sleep my 10 hours, I will be like unfocused the next day, or thirsty, very thirsty, or moody. It's very interesting. So it has lots of consequences. So some people sleep 6 hours and they're fine. Some people need more, but on their own way, like in each individual way. We needed to be able to function, to think properly, to be clear, lightheaded, to just do things. And you need these things because this is the processor, right? Like the CPU, like on computers. If that's full, then there is no more room for more, right? So the body needs that process, and that process is sleep, so you can keep creating and living new experiences every day.
It's funny that you say that you need 8 hours, because when I think about it, I don't think I've had 8 hours of sleep since I had my children.
Well, yeah.
But I will say, I know other people who do, and they do prioritize sleep. So, and not everybody's like me. But I also think that it's a matter of taking the steps to get as much sleep as you can within your circumstances. And I think this touches upon what you and I have discussed before, which is those small steps. So let's talk a little bit about that. So let's say, it doesn't have to be sleep, but taking an example of someone who is not doing any of those things. How can we start introducing these healthy habits in a reasonable way that will stick for them? Because you can't go from 0 to 60. You can't go from me, who has like 6 hours of sleep a night at the most, if I'm having a good night. Usually it's about 5, to then all of a sudden going to have 8. It's, for me, it's not feasible. So
Yeah.
How can we start implementing these healthy habits so that they stick?
Yeah. So this is really, I mean, easy. I love it because of that, because it's easy in a way that it's about awareness. We need to understand our routine first. We need to observe very, very carefully the things that we are doing on daily basis, without routine changes, without anything, just the actual things that we've been doing in the last month, 3 months, 6 months, whatever. We need to really observe those things and realize what are those things. What are things that we are doing that we don't really like? Is there something we would like to change or not? So everything written down, because if we don't write it down, we will get lost in all this information, right? So I usually recommend to get this journal, like my Mariana journal or my routine journal. So I like to suggest all the time, have this journal to write the things that you usually struggle, through your day. I mean, everything related to the body, to the health, some discomfort. Maybe you had some stomach ache today and tomorrow you don't have it, but when you had it today, maybe you go to your journal and you realize the last night you had Indian food. Or so we don't usually see all these details, right? But when we write them down in the process of making changes, we will remember. So that's why it's super important in that process of making changes and replacing the old habit, which is not a super nice one, with a new one that is the one that we want. In that process, we need to write things down, because that's the only way to be aware. Most of the people work with this, so it depends. Again, it's what feels good for you, but really, as a method that really works for you to become aware of the things that you are doing at the moment that you want to change, and then we can start, seeing what little things we could do, small things. Like, if you cannot sleep 8 hours, then fine, but you could have quality sleep during the day, maybe with 2 naps or something like that. So it's about the quality, even if it's tiny, just quality, but that will replace and will give your body the energy that you need, or your mind the calmness that you need.
That's wonderful. I like that. So the awareness first is the most essential thing. So you have a starting point. You know what your baseline is. So your baseline is 6 hours. So you're like, okay, I need to. And I like that you mentioned the quality, because I think that does make a difference too, is, the quality of whatever it is that you are working on, whether it's adding more water, the quality of sleep, the quality of, what you're putting into your body, that type of thing. So that you're increasing the things that are going to help you and will have a higher quality of, things in your routine, even if it's not that many, but that you're putting the time in. I really like that. Okay, so then you have this awareness. Then how do you introduce it? So what steps can you take to now introduce it a little bit more?
So after the awareness, you ideally would have to do 2 lists. The list A, which is the list of things that you realize you are doing, but you don't really want to do them. Like, for example, I want to wake up at, really early in the morning every day, so I can do the things that I want to work, right? But I struggle sometimes because maybe I go to bed too late, and then I wake up a little bit late than I would like to in the morning. So it's that kind of thing. So that thing, I know I'm sleeping my 8 hours, but not in the schedule that I want sometimes. So there's my one thing to fix, right? So that's one example. Or maybe you're rushing all day because you have to take the kids to school and then back and then the class and then this. So maybe you're feeling thirsty, or maybe you really need to pee and you're holding it because, okay, wrong little things that you're doing that you should change, because in the long term, that holding your pee will give you bladder issues, or, that kind of thing. Or if you're thirsty, then can you do something to have a bottle of water or juice or something that works for you with you at all times? So when you're feeling thirsty, you can actually take that sip. So you don't have to be feeling like, damn, I'm thirsty, but I can't right now. So it's like all these little things in the back of your mind while you're doing other important things as well. So it's like dealing with the tiny ones, so they don't take, much bandwidth from your energy at the moment you're doing something, because it's very tiring. At the end of the day, you're tired, and it's not just physical. It's about all these things that you feel like, okay, what could have done? I missed this, or I didn't do this, or I did this. So it's also here, I would like to mention gratitude, because at the end of the day, it's so important to make another list about the things that you did do, because we tend to think of the things that we don't do or that we didn't do during the day. So it's also good to realize the things that you did, because holy crap, sorry, you did everything. You did lots of things and they were good. So giving that self-reward to yourself, to the brain, to everything, it's super important and super useful, because it will even help you sleep better, because you will feel like accomplished, like, okay, fine, I didn't do this, I can do it tomorrow, but I did these other 8 things. So it's like, okay, yay.
I really like this as an introduction into self-care. So the first thing is the awareness, and the second thing is it all is to start implementing small things. And I like that it almost seems like there's this preparedness aspect, like prepare things in advance so that you're not playing catch up. Like I like with the water, having the water with you will increase your chances of drinking the water. So being aware and then preparing for those things that are your trouble spots, and then giving gratitude at the end of the day, to point out what you did well, and so that to make it a nice, well-rounded day. I really, really like that. I really like that. So I'm going to wrap up this call, although I think that, I may have you back because it's been such a pleasure talking to you. But would you like would you like to share with the group the gift that you're offering for everyone who is listening in on this call?
Yeah, of course. I give a free consultation to anyone who's interested on, on this healthy habit theme, something they need to implement, or maybe they have a doubt, a question about something. I'm really, so many people ask me, do you replace the usual doctors at the clinic? And I say, no, of course not, because I am not an emergency service. I don't do tests. I don't do prescriptions, but I am the step before getting to your doctor, the usual doctor at the clinic. So all these kind of things are important, so people can ask and clear doubts. And maybe Google is not reliable for certain things.
Really?
And maybe you don't have the time to go to the clinic. So that's what I'm here for. So I'm giving this free consultation. It's a 45-minute consultation for anyone that wants to ask or talk about something, or and then I can always help in a process of all these health and body and mind kind of health thing. But that's a different topic if people are interested. But that depends. That's my services and everything else that I do.
Wonderful. So what we'll do is we'll, in the comments underneath this video, I'll add your calendar for anyone who's interested in taking you up on the offer of your consultation, which I think is a fabulous thing. And anyone who's interested in starting to implement some healthy habits into their life. And it's good that they start doing it now, so they've got already a leg up on those New Year's resolutions.
Yeah, exactly. You don't have to wait to New Year to make these resolutions. If you make them in a day by day, they're and easier.
Wonderful. Well, thank you so much. Thank you for taking the time. It really has been such a pleasure, and I hope to talk to you soon.